run through two stick drills real quick, and they each get eight different movements. They're very, very similar, and so let's just go through them real quick. So again, this is going to be an angle number 2 coming in at me. So angle number 2 comes at a 45-degree angle from shoulder to hip. And again, as I explained before, it can be in any position of the body. I just use shoulders and hips as a reference point so that you get what I'm talking about. So from shoulder to hip at a 45-degree angle, coming down, boom, just like this. In my left hand, it's this way. In my right hand, it's this way. So it's the same angle, doesn't matter. This is going to represent that angle. So the first thing we're going to do is they're going to hit with a number 2. So I'm going to counter with a number 2 deflection from here. And that deflects the stick. Now, anytime we hit the stick, what we're really doing is hitting the wrist. But we can't hit the wrist of our ukis, our training partners, too often unless they're wearing really good pads, because it's just unpractical. So we use the stick as reference, even though we're really hitting the wrist. Deflect the stick, slide off and re-grip it as we do a little box step. Boom, here. Comes back to our side. Now up underneath our arm, where if we lower our arm, we pin it. We don't want it there. We want it below the arm so that when our arm comes in, it doesn't pin the stick. Very important, very important. I tend to look for little things that gives me a clue on my perspective of someone else's skills and training. And two things that I really look at when it comes to stick work, for me to determine whether or not the person, in my viewpoint, has a good practical sense of real stick combat. The first thing is arcos. So when you do an arco, you're rolling the stick. Boom. Now if you look at this, I don't release my hand. I don't release my fingers. Boom, 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 like this, okay? Now you'll see a lot of people twirl it like this. Alright? Personally, very, very bad. Not good. And I will never teach my students to do that. As a matter of fact, if a student of mine does this, I whack his hand, plain and simple. I'll knock the stick out of his hand, or I'll hit his fingers. No. When you do an arco, when you do this twirling motion, it doesn't go like this. Alright, you're just asking to get the stick knocked out of your hands. And it shows me that you may work the techniques, you may know the system, you may know the style, but it's not practically used, because if you ever did this for real, you're going to get it knocked out of your hand, plain and simple. So, boom, boom. Hand stays on it. Is it more difficult? Yes. It's much more difficult to learn to do it like that than like this. But this, in my viewpoint, is a better way than this. Anyway, that's the first thing I look for. If I see someone opening their hands like that, yeah. Again, when they're chambering their stick across here like this, if they leave it below their elbow so that it can come out easily, alright, I see that much better than if they chamber underneath their elbow or underneath their armpit. So if they close their arm, it's stuck here. Okay, if for some reason, and you do it here, If for some reason my arm gets pinned to my body, which is something I'll do if I catch somebody doing this, I'll push their arm in. Now they can't use their stick. But if this occurs, you know, I'm like, oh, well, that person's never had to really stick fight in their life. And if they have to, they're going to be in a lot of deep doo-doo. As soon as someone pins their arm, then, oh, now their stick is stuck, right? You want to be down here. If they pin their arm, see, oh, it still comes out. Look at that. Anyway, two big things I look for. I digressed a little bit, but I do that. So anyway, angle number 2 coming in, angle number 2 deflect. A little bit of a heel toe, or maybe even a box step. And we'll talk about footwork later. Regrip the stick. Boom, regrip the stick. Now, here, then it's going to come out in an angle number 9, like a back fist, and I'm going to strike the body. Ribs preferably. Bam. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here. 6. Check. Step in with like an elbow. 7 and 8 comes in with a upper to the head. Number 9 strike. Boom. Just like that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bingo bango. Now, the same thing, except this time, instead of going deflect, regrip, stomach, now we're going to go deflect, regrip, head. The first one we went up, down, up. This time we're going to go down, up, down, and then, because now we're on the inside of the, we'll assume we're on the inside of the body, and we'll pop it, or you can be on the outside, but we're going to pop it to the opposite side of the body. Boom. Check. Elbow. Strike. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Both of those again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Look at it from this direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3,